up, that'd be fantastic. I know we've been on the call for quite some time now. We want to get into this real quick. I think it's only going to be about 15 minutes to 20 minutes long. Josh is crushing it. He is the regional sales manager, divisional manager to be of the Bushido region. Looks like we're about to break it apart because they're having so much success. So huge shout out to him and his growth with the guys. Want to hear from him and understand how to grow something bigger and better? Tune in right now because he's got the nuggets for you. Josh, I'll pass it to you, man.
What's going on, everybody? I do appreciate you guys having me on with the #1 sales organization in the country. What an honor this is. And earlier, I got a couple shout outs to a couple of my guys. I got shouted out by Will, so did Gabriel DeLeon and Peter Klein. Also want to shout out Johnny Alacatar, who is a pivotal piece into Bushido and a huge part of the domination that we're actually seeing right now. And I think Johnny's about to be a regional manager himself. So congratulations to Johnny and his growth in Puerto Rico. So I just want to make that kind of key right there. Next slide. So the importance of leadership in sales success and your influence, guys. Here's a quote. One of my favorite quotes is written down there. People rarely remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And another quote from Dale Carnegie is, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And these are key pivotal parts that are just instilled into Bushido and what we try to live by and when we're bringing other guys up. There's really two different type of leadership styles. And if you go to the next slide and play that video, I like how I demonstrate those. Dang, there's no sound.
Here, maybe this will play the sound for you guys. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Appreciate you.
Oh, if we don't have the sound, no worries. We go to the next one.
We'll take your boots off.
I'll drop the link to this video into the chat. It's one of my favorite scenes, and we were soldiers, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But this kind of demonstrates what the two leadership styles that we're going to talk about today. And it's really important that you guys kind of demonstrate what this is, right? So how are we kind of narrowing this thing down, and what are they, right? So you can I boiled it down to two different, you can go to the next slide, to really two different type of leadership styles. And there's different offsets, there's different branches you can come down. But to boil it all down, in my opinion, there's two different types. There's authoritarian and there's influential, right? The authoritarian leadership style is a dictator, right? He's kind of lazy. And when I say that, I'll get back to a little bit more on why I say it's kind of lazy. They bark orders. They're ego-driven type of leadership. Influential, they lead with love. They show the why we are doing this, and they co-op ideas from the guys that they're actually in charge of, who they're leading. Why I say it's lazy to be an authoritarian, because anybody can bark orders, right? I can say, Clayton, go do this right now, and he jumps to and goes and does it. But what type of respect and type of long-term relationship am I going to have with Clayton if I keep doing that? Not a very good one, right? He's going to start getting some type of resentment. On the other hand, if I talk to Johnny and he has an idea and I co-opt that idea and love that idea and implement that into something that we do on a daily basis, he's going to feel more part of the organization. He's going to feel like he's part of the growth and the winning that we are doing. And it's going to make him feel more empowered to do more things like that. Because at the end of the day, when you are a leader, the buck can't stop with you, right? You have to incorporate the ideas of everybody, because you're not the president of the United States. You're not the dictator of Russia. What you are is been chosen, and through your abilities, a leader for men and women who are trying to be better and grow in this industry and take that responsibility. And I don't take it lightly. If you go next slide. So understanding authoritarian management, what that looks like. Right? They command, they control, they pressure people into doing what the things that they don't necessarily want to do. They micromanage every little thing. There's little trust between them and their reps. There's short-term compliance, but long-term damage. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. How it feels. It's rigid, it's script, it's rules. There's high pressure tactics, little flexibility, and personal connection with the reps. And also, if you go to the high pressure tactics, You see a lot of people who sell a lot of deals. That's why I love that we're going with the net deals now. The high pressure tactics, you'll see a lot of people throw up a lot of deals, and this will translate to leadership as well, is that you will use high pressure tactics to sell your deals, selling site surveys, and then you look at your cancellation rate, you only have a 35% pull through. Well, if you get promoted based upon your gross sales and you go into leadership with those same type of tactics, your retention of your reps is going to be very low as well. You got to let people do, you got to influence people into doing the things that you want done because it's the right decision to make. If you go next slide. What inspiring leadership looks like, right? What it looks like. Building genuine relationships, right? Listening and understanding to people's needs, inspiring trust and confidence, right? That goes back to the quote by Dale Carnegie. And again, let me give a shout out to 3 books right quick where I basically pulled all this information from. Number one, and it's an old book. It was written in the 1930s. People turn their nose up at it, and they always say they read it, but I can tell by the way they act, they never have. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It is old, but it is a classic. If you implement those ideas, you cannot go wrong being in leadership. That's just my opinion. So Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. One I just got turned on to. In fact, we had Alex Nethercutt come to a couple of our trainings with Bushido and Meraki. It's going to be Core 4 Leadership. Just an absolutely amazing book. It's built upon solar, and the guy just wrote a book on how to be a leader, not in sales industry, but in solar industry. So it's really, really, really good book. And then finally, it's going to be John Wooden's Pyramid of Success. When I built this presentation, I built upon those 3 core books, and that's where I got these ideas from. These aren't my own ideas. People way smarter than me. I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants. So how it feels. Build trust quickly. Like when you are influential and you are leading with love and you're not ego driven, you can build trust really quickly. You increase your closing rate, not only with customers, but also with reps, right? If you are able to recruit really well, it means you have high inspiring leadership and you are trustworthy. Enhances customer satisfaction referrals. And our reps, the guys who look up to us for leadership, are essentially our customers, right? Because hopefully everybody in here that's a leader was an exceptional sales leader to begin with, right? Or still are. So we always have to do that. We always have to enhance the customer satisfaction. We have to care about our reps, about our customers. Motivates and develop your team. Long-term success over short-term gains. And here's another quote by Dale Carnegie. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in people other than try to get people interested in you in 2 years. So I love that quote. Next slide. All right, comparison chart. Go authoritarian style and influential style. So the approach, right? If you are scripted and pushy, people might comply just to get you out of their face and say what you want to hear, but they're not going to follow through with what your ideas and the seeds that you're trying to sow here. If you are consultative and empathetic, empathy is the key to all sales, right, guys, and also leadership. You have to empathize with your guys and your customers if you ever want to be successful. You got to hear where they're coming from. You got to see their side. You have to. Customer relations, short-term compliance, and for the authoritarian, meaning that people might sign on the dotted line, sign that paperwork just to get you out of their house. So as soon as you leave, they can cancel. Or people may say, "Hey, yeah, I'll come to your organization. I'll be there. I'll show up for the Zoom," and they just ghost you and they block your number, right? On the other hand, influential style has long-term trust. If you have customers that you've had, up to 5 years ago that you still talk to or still give you referrals, it means you did your job correctly. If you have reps that have been with you multiple years, it means you're on the right track. It means they trust you, right? Closing styles, high pressure sales styles when you are doing it with either customers or reps trying to get them to do what you need them to do or do what you want them to do. You're not going to have a high success rate with that after you leave the situation. Relation-based persuasion. You got to figure out what makes people tick and motivate them upon their wants and their needs, right? I can't tell, I'm using Clayton as another example. I can't tell Clayton to go to work to make me more money. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. I got to figure out what makes Clayton tick, what his needs are, what his wants are, what his goals are. That way I know what buttons to push to motivate Clayton in the nicest, most influential way possible. Telling him to get off his butt and get to work is not a way that's going to motivate Clayton to do it. He may do it for a day or two, but he's always going to have that in the back of his mind, what I said to him, how I was ugly to him, and he's always going to hold a resentment towards me. Now, on the other hand, if I say, Clayton, this is what you told me your goals were. Is this still correct? Is this what you want to do? You want to make $700,000 this year? Yeah, it is, Josh. It's what I want to do. Okay. How do you think we're going to do that? Well, we got to sell this home. Are you going to do it from the house, you think? Or you think we need to get out on the doors and start making something happen? Right? It's a lot nicer than saying, get off your ass and go to work. Right? It's all the way you present the information. Right? It's all the way about the way you present it. And team motivation, you command and control, right? You make people do what you want to do. You use your will to enforce it onto people. And the other part is empowerment and support. I want people to be in the at our team meetings because they want to be, because they have the atmosphere, because of the culture, because we're playing loud music when you come in, because we have Chick-fil-A, we have coffee. The #1 sales team in the nation deserves Chick-fil-A and coffee, in my opinion. So these are the type of things that we cultivate the culture. We empower all of our leaders so that they feel empowered, so they can lead team meetings. It's not just me, it's not just Gabriel, it's not just Peter, it's not just Johnny speaking to the guys on a daily basis. We rotate other leaders in and make them feel part of our organization, and they are part of our operation and our organization. The only way to influence people is to talk to terms of what they want. Again, another Dale Carnegie quote. Next slide. Leading with inspiration is smarter than ruling with the iron fist. Let's take a closer look. The ability may get you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. Guys, again, if we are just painstaking, like giving direct orders and again, we are all 1099 employees. We're not in the military, and I know a lot of I've watched leaders in the past just kind of just rule with the iron fist, and you're doing it because I said so. Just because you get a couple stripes on your shoulder doesn't mean that you are put in this position where you are a superior then. The only reason that you are in front of that room and you're talking to your teams is because you are a good leader and you know the way to the path to victory for the rest of your guys. Doesn't give you any type of, they're not your sub, they're not submitting to you. They are nothing like that. They are looking at you to lead the way, and that's all you are as a leader. You're leading the way to victory because you've already been there, or you have fooled enough people that they think that you know the way to victory is. So don't take that lightly. The next slide. Build trust and loyalty, right? Trust is the foundation of success for anybody. When you're leading teams and you're also doing sales, this can go either way. Trust is gained in drops and lost in buckets, right? And that's the Alex Nethercutt quote. Actually, I don't have it citation there, but that is an amazing quote to me, right? How long does it take for how long would it take Johnny? Let's use Johnny. I can see Johnny's face. I've worked with Johnny for a lot of years. How long would it take for me to lose Johnny's trust if I just said something outlandish to him and hurt his feelings and said something crazy that was just years of building a trust and bond with Johnny would be thrown out the window over one stupid mistake because I got mad because I wanted to make Johnny feel how I felt, which is ridiculous. Guys, you always have to treat your guys with care and concern and compassion. Now, there are times that people might take your kindness for weakness. I had a little rough for life growing up. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so I don't think any of my guys take my kindness for weakness. They kind of know what it is. I love them because I want to, not because I have to. It's definitely a choice that we do on a daily basis. I could definitely be the authoritarian, bring the hammer down, do this or else type of guy, but it wouldn't take very long to be in front of that room and look, and the numbers are kind of dwindling. I believe we have over 100 active reps in Bushido, and we have leaders that are leading in this type of way. And if you're not, I do suggest you guys kind of adopt this style, read the books I mentioned earlier, and it'll kind of give you the keys to success. I know it's obvious when I see a leader that are kind of being authoritarian, do it because I said so. It is obvious they haven't read the leadership books. And Johnny, what do leaders do?
They read.
Leaders read. Leaders read. You got to. Next slide. Close more deals by building genuine relationships. Authentic relationships lead to higher success, influence rooted in sincerity and clarity. I think building trust also means you can't bullshit your guys. Pardon my language, guys, but you cannot bullshit your guys. Most of our guys, they have been through around the block. They know they can call bull crap when they see it, and you can't bull crap a bull crapper. All right, so keep your guys, shoot them straight, tell them the honest answers, and they may not like it, but they'll respect it, right? They may not like it at the moment, but they will trust and respect it, and they know they can come back to you and get an honest response from you. They know you're not going to sugarcoat it. They know you're not going to be mean about it, but they also know you're going to give it to them direct. You're going to give it to them honestly, and you're going to give it to them the way they need to hear it, right? Delivering the message and how you deliver it is everything, opposed to just saying, Johnny, you freaking suck, right? It's like, hey, Johnny, let's work on some of this stuff. Your numbers are here. You said your goals are here. What do we need to do to get you to that point, right? That works a lot better of a leadership style than just pounding people with facts. It could be true, right? Johnny could be only hitting 20 deals a month when he said he was going to give 200. And if I just kept pounding him with that instead of figuring out what the root cause of that issue is and trying to help him retain those numbers, then he's going to lose all interest, and he's also going to he's not going to be with us very much longer. You can go to the next slide. What we're trying to do, guys, we're trying to multiply ourselves, and we're trying to duplicate ourselves. We're trying to make more leaders, right? So if you are the guy that is always got to be on the Zoom leading the calls, if you're the guy that's always got to be in the front of the room with all the attention on you, if you are that guy, you're not developing leaders as you should, right? We got to make leaders, and we got to grow this thing out to a large group. And the only way we're going to be doing that is if we treat people the right way. So develop future leaders, not just followers. Coaching, character development, growth are necessary ingredients for sustainable success. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. I love that quote. I have a deep sense of responsibility for the guys that look to me for leadership and guidance. It's overwhelming at times, almost. I have to be a coach. I have to be. I'm an older guy. I'm the old guy doing solar. I have to be a dad to some of these guys. I have to be a marriage counselor to some of these guys. I got to be a psychologist. I got to be a money manager for them, which, I got to put all those hats on and take the time to develop my leaders so they will be in a position where people will follow them. That makes sense. Anyway, next slide. Foster innovation and adaptability. Creativity requires effort and clarity. Dictatorial managers rely on routines. I think it's so important to, when I have an idea about something or how to do something, I always take to one of my leaders and I ask them, what do you think about this? What's your opinion? What would you do differently here? And they can take that idea and put their own little spin on it. Then it's their idea. They take ownership of it. They can take it to the masses, and then people can look towards them. I love doing that. I love when people take ownership of whatever they're doing. I think Johnny took ownership of Puerto Rico immediately. He got Felix tuned in. Felix took ownership immediately. We went out there in about we did one meeting. We switched up just a couple things that they were doing. Now these guys are competing for the #1 team in the nation, which is phenomenal. And it's all due to Felix and Johnny taking ownership of that organization and just doing it themselves. So when you guys are put in charge as a district manager, as assistant manager, or regional or divisional, whatever it is, a vice president, you got to take ownership of that. You got to say, don't wait for somebody to do so. If you have a good idea, let's not be unilateral with it. Let's throw it out there, co-op it, and see what everybody else thinks about it, and then own it, implement it, do it. I still have guys from SMG Solar Money Gang that are looking for me to, print slicks or do this or do that. It's like, guys, you are the manager now. And these guys yesterday, they stepped up, started making slicks, started doing stuff on their own, not waiting for me to bring down the order or bring down the what they need to do next. They are actually thinking for themselves. And that's the only way we're going to cultivate and build and grow, is if our leaders take ownership of their own organizations. Go to the next slide. And the authoritarian management trap, guys, if you have low morale, you have high turnover, you have long-term damage done to your teams, you'll have short-lived results. The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one's watching. It's a quote from John Wooden. And go to the next slide. Core 4 leadership. These are the things that are in Core 4, and I will kind of end it here. I'll kind of we've been on here for quite a long time, and I'll go ahead and end the training here. The force multipliers for any type of organization, type of leader, you gotta have vision. You have to be able to communicate what the purpose is and what you see in the future and where you see the organization going. You got to be able to paint that picture for people who don't have the vision, right? Skill, you got to be a monster. You got to be an absolute monster so these guys respect you. That's the only thing that my guys respect. I got called out, what was it? I think it was last June. Was it June, Clayton?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I got kind of called out by my guys. I was doing a lot of traveling, doing a lot of recruiting meetings, and it was the first month that I didn't have more than 5 deals as a regional manager, and I got kind of called out on it. And that last week I had 10, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to call out the whole bunch. I called out everybody in my region, called them all out. Said if anybody beats me, I'll give you $1,000, and if you multiple people beat me, then we'll actually split that money. Well, at the end of the month, I only had 2 people say, I sat down with it, said no, had 16 deals. I also told them I'd shave my head. I wish I had a picture of that. I'll pop in the chat maybe later. Also told them that if anybody beat me, I would shave my head and give them $1,000. Well, I had 16 deals that month, and I came in 5th place. It was the first time Bushido ever got over 200 deals in a month, and we just broke 300 this month. So, guys, you got to be skillful. You got to be able to pop out and show these guys who you are, where you came from, and why you are that dude, and why they can look at you as their leader. Character. You got to be authentic. You got to be trustworthy. These guys will see through bullshit so fast, your head will spin. You got to be able to stand on your character, stand on your word. And when you say something, you deliver. You go follow through with it. You can't just tell people what they want to hear and never follow through with that. People will see through that, and you will not be able to build an organization. And also action. Follow through with integrity. You got to have massive action if you want to do anything in this industry. If you want to be a great sales guy, you got to be on the doors every day. If you want to be a great leader, you got to be on the doors every day, and you have to recruit your ass off. So guys, I'm going to end it there. I do appreciate everybody being on. Thanks for having me. This was an amazing experience to be on this pros call. So I'll just kind of end it there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Josh. That was phenomenal.
Let's go,
man.
Simmons.
I hope all of you guys. Yeah, man, that was great. Hope you guys all took some great nuggets away from that. I know there were still some questions about batteries, so I'll hang out a little bit longer for anybody that has those. But if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out to me for any of that. If you guys have any questions about Josh's training, feel free to reach out to Josh. I know he'd love to share some of the nuggets and get you guys more of that presentation. I know we'll also get that out to you guys. Let's have a huge week.